garage, which is a little bit of a different setting for us, but we have an issue. Yes. I talked about it a little bit on stream, and those of you who are rewatching it, basically, was rushing out of the garage the other day, and I just barely tapped the mirror here. So I went through the process of trying to find replacements, and I thought that I was going to have to get a whole housing and all this stuff, and it turns out that there's a company that just makes just the glass replacement, and there's some stuff on the back of here which we're going to take off and put it on the new one. I haven't opened up the new glass yet. For those of you who haven't really looked at the car, she's a little dirty right now, not too bad, but the offending mirror right here, we've got just a couple little wires here. What's up, Will? How you doing, buddy? A couple little wires here that actually goes to the heater that's built into the mirror. Lol car. I love the emote use and how appropriate. So we're gonna replace this cracked mirror, and it broke in fabulous fashion. It was just a little hit. It was like boop. And it was like the whole thing fucking blew up. But got a kind of an interesting little setup. Let me show you. So right now I'm using a phone mount onto this metal plate that I put on the wall here just for this little stream. Seems to work out pretty good. So, all right. So the first step, obviously, is getting this mirror off of the vehicle. In my case, it basically just popped off. But if you look at it, there's a couple of just little clips here, 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 just basically all the way around it. And that just kind of holds it in. So if it hasn't been popped off already, looks like just a little bit of a force will take it right off. So you want to delaminate this plastic housing here from the rest of the mirror assembly and try to do it without getting too much glass all over you. I've already kind of done this one with the assistance of the heat gun. I've seen a couple of YouTube videos where they talk about using Goo Gun and all this stuff. The heat gun. You don't need to put any solvents anywhere on this. You just use the heat gun, and it will come right off. So no big deal. The next step is getting this pad, if you didn't buy a new replacement, this pad off of the glass so we can insert it onto the new glass, which we'll open up here in a second. Like I said, I haven't even opened this yet, so I'm curious. This might get a little loud, but we're going to do it anyways. If that's too annoying, guys, you probably have to just turn that down. So we're going to heat this up, and hopefully, glass just falling off. You really should be wearing probably some sort of a glove if you're doing this. I'm just going to be really careful, hopefully, and not have any issues. So this heat gun gets pretty warm. Let's see if that was enough. So this is basically a sticker, right? A little bit of heat, work it, so this glass is all gonna come off. It's gonna be a little tricky here. More heat. We'll just end up working it as we go. Ooh, it's a little hot. Damn, mosquito just bit me. have to be very careful when using a heat gun. That thing gets very hot. You can burn the crap out of it. One time I was tinting some windows, and with that very heat gun, in fact, and scalded the crap out of my arm. So the one thing I'm curious about is if this is going to be sticky enough to reuse. I think I might have to use some Super 33, which is just some stuff made by 3M. It's like a spray. We'll see, though. We'll see how it holds up on the new glass. At this point, it seems to be coming off pretty good, though. Oh, we're starting to get big chunks. That's where the impact was. All right, so we got half of it off. This part might be a little trickier. It's probably going to want to come apart in little tiny pieces. And we want to make sure we get all that off there so when we seat the new glass, it sits there. At least it was the right mirror, yeah. The driver's side mirror wheel on this vehicle has auto dimming, so it would have been a little bit more expensive to do it. How are things down in Florida, man? If you're watching this once again as a rerun on YouTube, I stream on twitch.tv, and I normally play video games, but Will is one of my most loyal followers. And he recently is down over in Florida, spending some time with his mother. Got to be real careful with this. Like I said, I do advise wearing some gloves whenever you're handling broken glass. But the gloves that I have wouldn't allow me to get these little pieces of glass out, so I'm gonna be very careful. Just take my time. There's no rush here. So we've got it almost all the way out. There's a couple little pieces here still, as you can see. But it looks like it's going to be sticky enough to put onto the new glass without any additional glue. So that's a good thing. Like I said, I do have some Super 33 on standby just in case. But it was just funny because all the videos that I've seen on how to do this all say that you need to use a solvent to get the glue off and all this other stuff, and I just don't agree. You don't need that. And I imagine that would make a huge mess. Alright, so we've cleaned this up pretty good now. As you can see, it looks worse than it is. This, once again, is just the heating pad. It's nice and fun. Nice. Well, I'm glad you're having a good time out there, man. I wish you were around to play some PUBG, but I understand. Alright, so we've got that pretty good. Let's take a look now at what we've been provided. Let me get this out of the way. Some little kids singing outside. I don't know what that's all about. Get all this little pieces of glass right out of our way here. I'll clean this up here in a little bit off stream, but don't want any accidents happening, especially while live. I don't need any more people making fun of me. I think this box was supposed to be, yeah, it's just this tab. All right. So this is what we got. Berco Automotive Mirror Solutions. Made in the USA. Just like that Corvette behind me. while we're opening this, we'll get a wide shot. All right. It's a beautiful day out today. It's about, I think, 75 degrees out. Nice and breezy, clear skies. Ooh, baby. Here's the new glass. Much less broken. Interesting. There is a slight mar, but it's on the back side. So I think we're good. I don't think I see any issues worth getting too worked up about. Yeah, we're good. Just make sure we've got a pretty decent clean surface here. And we're just going to match this sticker back up. Now we're going to take it. At least you don't have to put up with me crashing all the time. Oh, you're fine, dude. That's not holding quite as well as I'd like. I'm probably going to go grab that Super 33 that I have. There's a couple little spots right in here that aren't great. So let me go grab that glue that I have. Be right back. All right, so I thought about this, and we're going to want to painter's tape off the areas that we don't want any glue on, of course. So the little contacts here, I don't want any glue on that. So we'll kind of just wrap those contacts up a little bit. Doesn't have to be perfect, but just enough so that we're not causing bad contact with our heater element. And we'll probably throw a little strip on the bottom here. Now this Super 33 stuff, man, it just gets everywhere if you're not careful. So we'll probably do this on some cardboard. Ooh, this gun is still a little warm. Use the cardboard it came with. Do that real quick. Yeah, Will, I haven't seen your buddy King around in a couple of days. I don't know if he's okay. I did see something on the news. I know he's doing a summer camp thing. I saw something in the news about a summer camp. A bunch of kids got sick. It was in Florida, so I don't know if it was the same summer camp. Hopefully not. All right, so I'd say that that's pretty good. We've got this taped down all the way around the edges. Let's move this a little bit better into frame here. taped around all the way in the edges. So now we can use, excuse me, I kept calling this Super 33, Super 77. Super 33 is tape. Tape would not be the right thing for this. This stuff smells real bad. We'll just give that a little bit of a curing time. Takes, what does the directions here say? Spray surface and allow to dry for at least 30 seconds. For two surface bonding, spray both sides and allow to dry for 30 seconds. And then bonding range is 30 seconds to 15 minutes. So that's what they recommend. We'll probably do a little bit on this. I don't think from the factory, the plastic side had anything, but might be worth doing a little bit. Just a little. Clean the edges up. And I would say that that's definitely been about 15 minutes or so, or 15 seconds or so. Real sticky stuff though. All right, we're almost done here. Let that sit for a little bit. That's holding much, much better. It's kind of nerve-wracking. There's still probably tiny little bits of glass between the heater element and the new glass. So it's like, almost sounds like a little bit of sand when you push down, but it should be okay. Should mention price real quick. I mentioned that the factory replacement was expensive. This was $18. Factory replacement was anywhere from $50 to I saw as high as $80. But this looks just as good as factory for a fraction of that price. So I'm just kind of working the edges, making sure that it has a good adhesion. And I think that's it. I think we're good. It's all in. So now the next step is going to be to install it on the Vette. So I'm going to try to do this one-handed. We'll see how it works out. I'm going to flip the camera around. So these are the contacts that we need to line up here. You just put it in. Sorry for the shaky camera work. It's, I need like a second person for filming. All right. All right. That's going to be the finished result there. All fixed up. I gotta set this down for just a second though, so I can push this in appropriately. I know he's been at camp and he lost, I think, his grandpa, so he hasn't really been on. Yeah, dude, I think that is true. All right. Once again, I apologize. Let me flip the camera around. You're gonna get kind of a weird view. So there's these clips all the way around the edges here. You gotta make sure you line them up. And that goes into the motor on the actual mirror. which is a lot easier to come off apparently than to get on. I was really kind of hoping that this would go pretty easily. Let's see. Okay, let's see. That's it. A little bit of force. It took significantly more force to put that back on than I was afraid, because it's glass and I already broke one. But that's it. Flip it around. That is the finished result, baby. Just as good as new. Take you for a little walk around. Like I said, it's a little bit dirty. It's not too bad though. Full walk around, baby. Oof. It is nice. Get you that side profile. So yeah, that was about a 20-minute video on replacing that from start to finish. A lot of that was more or less talking. The actual fixing of it only took a couple minutes. So Will, thanks for hanging out, and everyone else. We'll be live tonight for some PUBG action. Just wanted to kind of document that, since, like I said, I didn't see anything online that kind of showed how you would do that without replacing the entire mirror, which I did see that, and when I say mirror, I mean the entire assembly here. I'm talking about from here all the way down. I saw people replacing that, which wasn't something I wanted to do. Not the cheapest thing, and especially for just something as silly as a mirror. But this was easy. Heat gun is the right tool in this scenario. You don't need Goo Gone. You don't need any of that. Just a heat gun and a little bit of patience, and probably some Super 77 if you've got a heated mirror. Show the remnants here. That's the remnants. Oh man. Rip old mirror. So, no big deal though. We got that Burco as a replacement. All right, Will, and everyone else, hopefully we'll see you tonight. And like I said, if you're watching this on YouTube, thank you so much. And we'll talk to you next time. Good night.